Shrouded Sky, patch notes 1.17. Let's see what we've got. So here's a sort of overview. Hurricane map condition. 2 new arc enemies. The weather monitoring system. A seasonal player project. Free raider deck. Dam battlegrounds map update. The expedition window. And facial hair customization. Is that a new skin, or is that an upgrade to the expedition skin? I'm curious. Let's read. Patch highlights. Weapon balancing for Stitcher, Kettle, Ventor, Jupiter, and Aphelion. Ooh. Added a piano as an interactable object in the world. Ooh. Prevented enabling all NVIDIA freestyle filters simultaneously to remove an unfair visual advantage. Okay, feats can now be re-rolled 3 times per day for free. Feats. Okay. Remove PvP feats. Oh, interesting. Updated a few existing feats and added a few new ones. Ziplines can no longer be placed on carryable objects. Mines, traps, or remote flares can no longer be placed on other deployables. Okay. Oh my goodness. There's a lot to read here. Let us continue. All right, in 1.13, we shipped an update that included an optimization fix for our weapons. But as many of you noticed, this had the unforeseen consequence of lowering the total fire rate of semi-automatic weapons. In 1.131, we reverted that fix, but something else made it into the update that shouldn't have. Many of you reported a shadow buff to the weapons, and after investigating it, we found that 1.13.1 had inadvertently impacted our weapon input buffers, where you previously would have time to you would have to time your inputs to the intended cadence of a weapon to reach its full potential. You can now instead spam click the button, effectively bypassing any skill requirement to learn the weapon's cadence. We want to keep some of that skill expression, but he also recognized that what we had previously didn't feel very responsive. To address that and land in some sort of middle ground, we have since added more levers for us to control the weapon input buffering window on a gun-to-gun basis, and we've adjusted the semi-automatic weapons accordingly. The weapon should now still be more responsive to fire when spam clicking, but the players who choose to pace their shots will see better results. So basically, you kind of need to time your shots, but it's probably not going to be as severe as it was in the past. Spam clicking is probably going to still be pretty effective. In addition to these changes, we've also been looking into the balance between our low-tier and high-tier weapons. A lot of you expressed concerns that some low-tier weapons outperform our higher-tier weapons at significantly reduced cost. Yeah, great. Glad that they are responding to this. And we're hoping to shift that balance a bit while still keeping some of that flexibility to punch above your weight if you are skilled enough. We're starting by reducing the overall time to kill of the Stitcher and Kettle and increasing the maneuverability of the Aphelion and Jupiter. We're also taking a second stab at the Venator. Oh no. What about the Otoro? Come on. Which still seems to be dominating a lot of our PvP encounters. Okay. The Stitcher is the first weapon to get hit with nerfs. The Stitcher has played its role well as a close-quarter weapon that rewards thoughtful positioning, but we found that its fast time to kill can sometimes lead to situations where you're ambushed and killed before you have much time to react. As many of you pointed out, the high headshot damage is a large contributor to this problem. The time to kill is often fine when the weapon is aimed at center of mass. But when we get close enough to land the majority of the shots in your target's head, we found time to kill numbers that are much faster than other weapons. These changes aim to bring that headshot time to kill a bit closer to the body shot time to kill by both reducing the full spray accuracy of the weapon and reducing the headshot multiplier. Okay, let's look at the real stats. Reduced headshot multiplier from 2.5 to 1.7.5. That is a fairly large nerf. 2.5 already was pretty high, though. And the base damage has also been nerfed as well from 7 to 6.5. I think this is going to make the Bobcat the clear winner in the SMG category. And if the Stitcher is brought down enough, and, you know, this seems to be quite a sizable nerf, and if the Venator has also been brought down, then we may actually start to see some Tempests and Bobcats rolling around in the mid, you know, once people get their blueprints after the expedition. That's pretty exciting. And the per-shot dispersion has also been increased by around 50%. So you're going to have less accuracy with the dispersion kicking in more significantly. They've also reduced, I'm going to basically, you can pause the screen if you want to watch these parts. I'm going to go over the patch notes, otherwise we'll be here for an hour. There's quite a lot of stuff to go into. So I skip over the dev notes. You can pause it if you want to read it. The Kettle has had its base damage nerfed from 10 to 8.5. Once again, that's a decent nerf, 15% less damage. You know, when you're firing a weapon fast, you know, DPS is going to be more significantly impacted on like a fast fire weapon like this. Venator, headshot multiplier has been nerfed to 2 and the base damage from 9 to 8. Gonna be curious. You know, it's enough. The thing is with the Venator, it's not necessarily about the damage it's dealing. It's more about how versatile it is at all ranges. Is this going to make the Tempest more of an option? I don't know. I think it's still a cheaper option to craft this. But it's definitely a nice thing to do. And we'll see. We'll see. I still think the Venator is a really versatile option, both for PvP and PvE. Let's have a look at the Jupiter. I actually want to read the dev note here. In PvP, the Jupiter does the most headshot damage in the game, but it's quite difficult to hit headshots with it at longer ranges. You're also quite vulnerable when you use it in closer ranges, since missing one shot will make you at sitting target until you either reload or swap. We're increasing how much you zoom when you use ADS to give you a better view of the targets you're trying to hit, and reducing its equip and unequip time to make it easier to swap to a secondary weapon. Okay, so ADS magnification has been increased, so you zoom in more. Improved equip time and unequip time. Quite small changes, honestly. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. What else have we got? Aphelion. Okay. Sorry, I went FK. Reduced base reload time. Reduced time between shots. Reduced vertical recoil by 50%. And ADS settle speed. Okay. This is good. If they can reduce the vertical recoil on the Aphelion, you can actually hit both shots on target. It could be a pretty nasty PvP weapon. And it's really interesting to see here. It was intended to be a more PvP-focused legendary weapon, but it couldn't quite keep up with the pacing of many of our other PvP weapons. We've made some changes to make it feel less bulky and a bit more nimble to use, to make it more viable. I think it might be an underrated choice. If we can be more consistent with hitting double tap headshots, it's actually really powerful. Really powerful. So this is quite good. This is quite good. Excited. This is cool as well. So we're moving on to more like quality of life changes now. You can now craft energy ammo without having the blueprints. You don't need to try and scavenge to get that equalizer blueprint anymore, which is nice. They've also changed some item value and cost changes. The deadline has had its value increased to 6,000. The trader price has increased to 18,000, and they've added a new arc part as a crafting cost. So I don't know what that'll end up being. Maybe one of the new arcs. Either way, it's going to be a lot more expensive to craft this thing now. I'm glad they didn't touch the damage, though. Sure, the deadline is extremely powerful, right? But I'm happy to see that they didn't have the damage. If it's hard to craft, then that's fine. But I'm glad that they didn't adjust the damage. The Trailblazer, even though it's been nerfed, has had its value increased. And once again, a new arc part as a crafting cost. So we have to check that out in game. Wolfpack, the value has increased. You now need Rocketeer Driver as a crafting cost, but they've removed the refined explosive. Man, that's a pain. That really brings down the... Okay. Okay. I thought it would be like, you know, a low-tier arc. We got to kill one Rocketeer, and you might get one... You're going to get one or maybe 2 or 3 Rocketeer Drivers. That's crazy. Oh, God. Vita Spray. Oh, no. They've added Tick Pod as a crafting cost. All right. The Vita Spray is my favorite healing item in the game. Interesting. And they've added Hornet Driver as a crafting cost for the Showstopper. And they've removed Advanced Electrical to Normal Electrical. Arc Part sale value has been reduced to better reflect the crafting and progression uses. Why would you craft... I think there is a difference in the Hornet Driver and Showstopper, I guess. They're making things harder to craft. Interesting. But yeah, they nerfed the Wolfpack a lot. I think the deadline, someone said, is you need to kill the Comet, the new arc. So we'll see how hard that is. And then we've got some achievements and animation fixes here on screen. We've also got some arc fixes. And we've got some audio fixes. Updated acoustic guitar music tracks. That's all we need to hear. Scrappy has received your feedback about being too noisy. He will now try to cluck less frequently. Okay. And then we've got cosmetics, the Volare set, the Surgeon set, the Devotee set coming soon, a new facial hair customization option, fix incorrect visor glass material on the Marco's outfit's green color variant. I think this is the 3rd time they put this in the patch notes. Some clipping issues. Gameplay. Added a piano as an interactable object in the world. Fix an issue where interactions could be triggered too far away, allowing players to open doors, start hatches, or loot items without being nearby. Holding continuous interactions now cancel when equipping another weapon or item. Prevented players from standing or being carried by throwing grenades and other non-walkable items. Ah, that's a shame. Added missing gamepad aim assist for sentinels, turret shredders, and surveyors. Disabled queuing for practice range while in a party to prevent matchmaking errors. Fixed an issue where a down raider's body could block hatch extraction. Prevented enabling all NVIDIA freestyle filters simultaneously to remove an unfair visual advantage. You can now make purchases with seeds and freeload augments even if your stash is overflowing. Well, that's nice. What else have we got? Buried City. The chance of finding rare loot in chimneys has been lowered slightly. Ah, that's a shame. Stella Montes. Improved nighttime visibility. Brilliant. That's great. Adjusted night lighting on Stella Montes to improve darker areas. Very good. Improved thunderstorm lighting. Okay. Fix an issue where players could go out of bounds. Okay. There's a lot of stuff here. There is a lot. These are basic fixes. Okay. You can now reroll feats 3 times per day. We saw that earlier. Remove PvP feats. Updated a few existing feats and added a few new ones. Added an expedition catch-up system to earn missed skill points from previous runs. Okay, with an updated UI to track your progress. So, like I said, if you missed getting skill points and you did the first expedition but you didn't get all of the skill points, you will now be able to catch up. Candleberries and Bluegate now count towards the Harvest Plants Trail. Great, finally. Fix an issue where players occasionally did not receive a skill point as indicated. Okay. And there's mostly fix errors. Once again, I'll put the link in the description of the video I'm making for this if you want to read through this all of yourself. Pop triggers and spotter relays can now be used in quick slots. Oh, this is interesting. The spotter relay can now be deployed as a trap that lures nearby arc. The pop trigger can now be deployed to roll forward briefly before exploding. Added a new fieldcraft item, Shake Instrument. Okay, interesting. Pretty cool. Zip lines can no longer be placed on carryable objects. Pretty cool. And then, okay, I will read through this and then we'll actually get in the game. Once again, if you want to read through some of the stuff I've missed, I'll put a link in the description. When we shared our last update about tackling unfair play, we didn't fully convey the complexity and scale of what goes into cheat detection. Our defenses operate on multiple levels. Some checks are simple and definitive, whilst others are behavioral and data-driven and evolve over time. We also leverage a broad gameplay telemetry and machine learning techniques to spot patterns that aren't obvious at first glance. These methods take longer to develop, but must adapt as game systems change, and don't always offer instant certainty the way blunt software detections can. We've recently taken action against different exploits, and we are further tightening our rules and stepping up enforcement. Serious infractions now carry stricter consequences. Strong detections will receive permanent bans right off the bat, whilst others will receive a temporary suspension and a single chance to correct the behavior. Recent updates to family sharing have strengthened our ability to curb misconduct and streamline the removal of bad actors from the game. We are preparing to launch a systematic manual reveal of ban appeals. Okay, yeah, so a lot of people got banned falsely. I know a lot of people have messaged me about this, and they've said here, we are preparing to launch a systematic manual reveal of ban appeals. Stay tuned. If you're still manually banned, if you've been banned falsely, stay tuned. Hopefully it won't be too much longer. I know a lot of you have been waiting a little while, which kind of sucks, but they are getting through it. The game is young and the volume of telemetry is enormous, but this process ensures every case is handled with care as we continue to learn quickly. So basically, they're still learning about how to deal with cheaters, and it's going to take time. Okay, we are in the game now. Let's have a little look at what is new. So we've got the Valere set here, which is new. And the customization options for that, we've got beige green, green yellow, and red black. You can take the bag on and off. You can have the helmet with goggles or off and visor up. You can also have the hood up or down. Looks pretty cool. Pauldrons on and off, rope on and off. These are a few different variations here. That's a pretty cool skin. We've got curly short hair. And then we've got the stubble beard. And if we go now to over here, Raider and customization, let's see how it works. Appearance, we've got a facial hair option, a completely separate customization section. We've got a full beard, which is in the surgeon deck. We've got a stubble beard and a stubble so far, and more will come in time. If we go to the decks page, we now have a new surgeon deck, which is a free deck. We've got the surgeon skin, first aid kit, bone saw backpack charm. We've got some meds, secret grenades in here. We've got a new face. We've got a paramedic backpack. We've got the surgeon headgear. Shield charger. There's more options for the surgeon. We'll go to the end. We've got the technical Mark II, not the blueprint, though. Some defibs. We've got a scrappy surgeon hat outfit. Okay. That's funny. Fighter shots. More augments. More raider coins. Full beard as well is the final option. Okay. Interesting. This is free, of course. Sure. Let's do that. And yes, I'm sure you can put facial hair on female characters if you want to. We've got the Hurricane event. Which is a permanent map condition. It is a 2x event. And on Damn Battlegrounds, we've got a new area called Controlled Access Zone. We're going to check this all out on stream. Come and watch over there. Thanks for watching. Cheerio.